Ever left a meeting thinking, what a waste of time? Or worse, you were the one who ran it. You're not alone. Meetings can either fuel work forward or drain everyone's time and energy. But here's the part we often overlook. How you run a meeting shapes how people see you as a leader. And if you want to be seen as credible, thoughtful, and strategic, meetings are your key moments of visibility. I'm Helen Bryant. I'm a leadership coach and creator of Manager OS. And today I'm going to show you 3 ways to lead meetings that people actually look forward to because they're focused, they're purposeful, and they drive work forward. We're tackling 3 questions you should ask yourself before your next meeting. First, how do you set up a meeting so it's set up for success? Secondly, what makes a meeting actually useful and energizing for your team? And thirdly, how do you make sure that people leave the meeting knowing exactly what's next? Plus, I'm going to share one line you can use to kick off every single meeting. It instantly boosts clarity and your credibility. Now, great meetings start before you even speak. In fact, if you're doing the thinking in a meeting, you're already too late. Let me be blunt. Most people show up to meetings unprepared, not because they're lazy, but because their calendars are out of control. We all know preparation is important, but we don't schedule it. And really, that's the problem. So we arrive and we do the next best thing. We wing it and we jump into the topic, even though we know it would be better if we were a little bit more prepared. But if you want to have a good meeting impact, you just need to get ahead. And there's a simple formula I use and I teach inside Manager OS as an effective framework. So if you're chairing a meeting, the formula is 60 plus 60 plus 30. 60 minutes to prepare, developing the agenda, gathering key information, speaking with any relevant people and stakeholders, and anticipating potential discussion points. Then 60 minutes to run the meeting, staying focused, managing your energy, and achieving your outcomes. And then 30 minutes follow up. This is where you document the decisions, confirm the actions, and this is really where you ensure accountability happens. Now, this is a general rule of thumb, and some meetings will need way more prep time. But I tend to find this is a really good number and framework to follow because on the whole, it just works. Now, it's slightly different, obviously, if you're attending a meeting. Then the formula is 15 plus 60 plus 15. 15 minutes to prepare, reviewing the agenda and thinking about your contributions, gathering any salient information you might need. 60 minutes to be in the meeting and fully engage, and 15 minutes afterwards to follow up. And this is where you would just capture your notes, reflect what you need to do next, schedule your actions, just make sure that you're organized to do the work. Now, this isn't about over-engineering. It's about protecting time to think clearly, which improves how you contribute and how others experience you. Think of it this way. You're not just preparing, you're designing the conversation before you walk into the room. And that's where your influence really begins. Now, if your calendar's back to back and you're thinking, I just don't have time, you can try using AI tools like ChatGPT or Notion AI to support your preparation. You can feed in the agenda and ask it to suggest questions. You can use it to help you clarify decision-making points, and it can just help you plan the meeting. And if this all feels like a big shift, just start small. The way to change your habits is to focus on the first step. So look at your calendar, spot just one meeting coming up where you want to show up at your best. Maybe it's with your team, your boss, or a cross-functional group. Then schedule the prep time. Even 20 minutes will help, but the important thing is to start because this is the moment where everything starts to shift. Then we get into the meeting. Now, you're not there just to fill the hour. You're there to move work forward. And most meetings begin with a list of topics, otherwise known as the agenda. And you can feel the energy drop from the moment it's shared. People glance at the agenda, some start thinking, but for some, their eyes are already starting to glaze over. What agendas often miss is the critical element of the outcome. So here's the phrase I recommend every manager uses at the start of every meeting. The purpose of this meeting is, and then explain why you're there, and then follow it with, by the end, we will have, and explain the outcome you want. This one-line habit sets the tone, builds clarity, and gives your meeting structure. So, for example, it would sound like the purpose of this meeting is to align on the next quarter's priorities, and by the end, we will have agreed the top 3 goals and who's leading each. Now, this sounds so simple, but I promise you, this really is transformational, because the truth is, people normally walk into meetings unclear of what's expected of them. And that vagueness leads to endless discussion, indecision, or worse, decisions being made, but nobody really realizes it. And that's why action doesn't follow. I once worked with a leader who used this structure for every meeting. And over time, it just became part of the culture. And I think people, well, definitely me, actually really look forward to the meeting because, we all knew something meaningful would come out of it at the end. To take it further, once you've set the outcome, structure the conversation around these 3 questions to guide you. What do we need to know? What do we need to decide? And what are we moving forward today? Referring back to these questions makes the meetings more action-orientated and helps everybody stay on track. Now, the meeting isn't over when the people leave. It's over when the actions are done. So that's where this 30-minute follow-up window is so important. And it's where your leadership credibility really lives. So here's what you've got to do. First, confirm the decisions and ownership. Second, send really clear follow-up, not long essays, just really what's needed. Thirdly, think about your stakeholders, including people not necessarily at the meeting, but who may need an update on progress. And I think it's always worth reflecting on what worked and what didn't and what needs to shift for next time, so that you're always thinking about making your meetings better and better. Now, if you're running a virtual meeting, tools like Otter AI, Fellow, or Google Meets Gemini can transcribe the discussion straight away and pull out all the key action items. This saves you so much time and ensures nothing gets missed. Now, this can be a lot more tricky for in-person meetings, depending on the environment. But here's a workflow that I use loads. Open up your voice memo app. So on my case, just voice notes on my iPhone, and do this as soon as the meeting ends. Just get to a quiet spot and then just sit and talk through your notes, the key outcomes, and any immediate thoughts. Make sure the actions are there, what the decisions were, and any important stakeholder dynamics. Just ramble away and then drop the transcription into your AI tool of choice and ask it to summarize and identify the action items. Then you'll get a draft to edit and you can send that within minutes. I find this so much quicker than trying to structure everything and type it all out. Now, you can do this live with ChatGPT in voice mode, just speak your thoughts, and it can also prompt you with questions to ensure that you haven't missed anything. Now, to make this even smoother, I really recommend using meeting minute templates so that everybody stays consistent. And you could also set up a meeting tracker and really clear file conventions so that the actions are saved to a place, for example, in your Teams channel, where everybody knows where it is, with really smart naming convention so everybody knows what it is. And that means you and everybody else can quickly find the notes later. This habit for me alone has been so valuable because you don't just talk about things, you close the loop and keep so action orientated. A great meeting isn't where everyone just nods. It's one where everyone walks away knowing exactly what was agreed and what to do next. So remember, action is the key thing for us here. We want to try some of these things out, and changing these 3 habits, all you need to do is look at your diary and schedule some time to think before a meeting that is important to you. Start using the habit of starting every meeting with the clear purpose and outcome, and then follow up in a way that builds your leadership impact. But here's the bigger idea. This isn't just about running better meetings. It's about building the personal systems that help you show up as a calm and strategic and impactful leader consistently. And if that's what you're aiming for, this next video to watch is all about the systems that help managers think ahead, take control of their time, and lead with confidence. I'll see you there.